Okay, let's look at a drawing for this pattern. And okay, so I started a new metric drawing, and I changed it to a C-size sheet because the D size is just like way too big and the B is too small. Okay, so I made it a C-size sheet. That's a lot of what we will use in Inventor. And when you go to place your views, so if you go base view, and then if your file's open, it'll be there. We'll go ahead and pop this one again. You have two options right here, folded model or flat pattern. Okay, so you're going to place the base view twice. So the first time I placed my base view here and then a top view and then pulled over an isometric. And then I did it again, placed the base view of the flat pattern. Okay, and so that brought this in over here. Now, dimensions. This view, I dimensioned everything manually. Okay. Because even though that 91.43, that's the intersection of my lines, and I'll show you how to draw these lines in just a moment. But I dimensioned these manually, and yeah, that's not the exact 92, but it's because we're having to deal with these bends on the outsides. In this view, I selected it, and I went retrieve model annotations. And of course, they're all grayed out because they've already been brought in. But you can do that, and it makes it easier to pull in these bizarre dimensions, especially since these are the dimensions for our sketch before the extrusion was made. Okay, whereas these were after the extrusion was made. Okay, and so we'll do some dimensioning over here on the flat pattern. And when you place these dimensions, if it doesn't give you an aligned dimension, just like that one did automatically, you need to right click, go dimension type, and choose aligned. Okay. And then on the outside edges here, what you'll do is you're going to dimension. You want to choose one and then right click and go intersection. Choose the second one. And that's going to pick the intersection of these two lines here. And then we want to dimension over here to the intersection. So I'll click this one and go intersection again. And then choose that line. And it will pull me out an aligned dimension based on those intersections. Okay, and so that's what you're going to want to do going around the object. Now, once we get up here, you got to be sure and pick the facing side of the object. Okay, so which is going to be this edge here, because that edge there is on the back side of the pattern. Okay, so you want to be sure and select those. Okay, now to draw these lines, what I did is I did a sketch on my paper and I selected that view. And so that ties the sketch to that particular view. Okay. Let me look at something right here. Okay, since we don't have any points, work points included in this one, they're not showing up here. Okay, if we had work points included, which in another, well, we did have one included up there, didn't we? So let's see, where's it at? Was it on work plane 3? No. Okay, Oh, because I'm in the middle of a sketch. That might be the problem. Let me see. No, because my sketches are not, they're not showing up. Anyway, okay, so let's go back into my sketch here. What I was trying to find is if I could have found the work point. You can come over here and you can right click on it and go include, and it will include it in your view. But I just put a point in. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'm in creating a sketch, and I chose that view there to put it in. Now I'm going to draw some lines because I want to annotate that point where this stuff all comes together. And so let's go project geometry first. And I'm going to choose these lines. And this one's a little bit more complex, okay? So I'm going to project geometry of those things. And then I'm going to draw a line. I'm just going to put it in here and make it parallel to one of those lines. And I thought I could make it coincident on that. Oh, there's a point there. Let's try that. It's not quite the center of those lines, so that's not what I'm trying to do is I want to get the midpoint of these two lines. So I guess I'll just have to dimension it, huh? I guess I could have measured between them and 1.551. Okay, so let's make an easy way of doing that. Okay, and then we'll go dimension from one side to my construction line and make it equal to that one divided by 2. Okay, so that put it in the center. And now what I need to do is I'm going to convert the line type. So I select the line, come up here to format. And instead of my layer, I make it a double dash chain. And that gives it a phantom line type scale. Okay, and then you would do these other 3 or other 2. And then we finish the sketch up. And then we have that, which would be the center of the fold that we have going. And then that would give the intersection for all of these things as it shows in the textbook. Okay. Now with this one down here, I did pretty much the same thing. And then I drew a line across here to trim them back so that they weren't actually touching. Instead of, I made them colinear to the outside edge. and then extended them out and trimmed them. Let me just, here we go. Okay. So I projected geometry that I needed, drew these lines, made them collinear to these on the outside edges, and then this one here, I just kind of made it as close as I could. You could certainly try the dimensions to get it centered up. And then I did an offset of 1.5 to trim those against. And then these offset lines, I selected all of them and then went sketch only. And that makes those lines only appear when you're in sketch mode, not when you're in your regular drawing. Okay. And so that's kind of how we would set up a drawing for this. Of course, you fill in your title block and all that kind of information. So that's how you're going to do these drawings. So I want a front view, a top view, just like it shows in the textbook, an isometric, and then a flat pattern view. And we'll think some more on how to dimension these things, okay, as we go on. But yeah, I'll put an image of it up. Sounds good.